Eastern European qualifiers. And come on, Navi, give us a show. Come on, Moneymakers, give us some competitive Dota, because you've got the lanes to be able to make it happen.
What's going on here, Slayer?
Just getting it ready.
You're just prepping it?
Yeah. I mean, the smoke popped into it, right? So they know they're set up around there. Maybe they wanted them to drop wards, and yeah, they're pinging up in that sort of general vicinity, either to say they're there or they have vision.
And Melody, look at that. All hands off the keyboard and the mouse. He's just chilling right now. He's chilling. See, I've
the Shadow Fiend, right? You ulti and then A-click the ground, hands off, see what happens.
Yeah. Must say, and I know you're definitely going to bring it up, so I'll get it before you. I have been a hater of mid-Earth Spirit. I do think some of the games we saw in China, I was not overly impressed with the value that it was able to provide. So I know Danog's going to bring that up eventually so far. So I will get that out the way.
Impressed.
Some of the others I was, especially more support Earth Spirit. So,
oh my God.
Lucas? Okay, so... let us see. They do also just completely run away for a bounty, so Slayer's going to be laughing his way to the bank.
We'll take it. Let's see how these lanes go. And I didn't really see too many blood grenades come out from Moneymakers in that game one. Can you recall many?
I don't remember.
For this top lane, and they've got one for Phoenix on bottom, right? So this is the sort of thing that I'm expecting to go a whole lot better for them. No skill up yet on the Beastmaster, but you can just see how difficult a lane it already is. He's already leveling up the concoction right now. As long as the Fiery Spirits is there, you are going to be in a very dangerous position right now on Big Num.
Ow! Up it. A lot of damage on the Phoenix already to start.
Your best Phoenix.
No, I was just they're hurting him, dude. It was just a weird owl, but I don't know. It was not the best Phoenix impression, without a doubt.
I just want to see more Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Probably won't see it in this laning stage. I mean, this is just level 1 as well, remember. Level 2, you're going to potentially have the upheaval to be able to slow them down after the concoction lands. You're going to be able to buff up the concoction damage as well by the acid spray. You're going to have even more AoE damage in this lane because of the fatal bonds and the acid spray. So there's a lot of money that's going to be spent on regen for this lane. I'm not really expecting Big Num to get into any sort of items anytime soon.
Which
semi-far back for them. Melody should be able to get this D-ward off on the small camp as well. So this is the last thing that Moneymakers wanted.
How's that lane looking at the moment? Oh, mid, Eagle. Actually, the one lower resources compared to Melojor might change now, especially with the bottle. Nobody gets sipped on. Both sides still have their water in as well to pick up, so probably going to be a 1-for-1 trade.
Already starting to build up that Greevil's Greed. Getting gold every single one of those last hits. It becomes so vital, your laning mechanics up against this sort of thing. Very small acid spray these days, I gotta say. Not exactly the biggest radius to be able to play around with, so you've got to really be on point being able to land it. A lot of the time you see the acid spray used like after the concoction is mid-air, just to guarantee that you're going to get good value out of it. But well, I think they're doing a good enough time even without that tool at bullying them out of this lane.
It seems like
you do.
I don't know, man.
They're just going to die. I mean, they at least deny it, but well, Ring of Health is picked up and a salve is queued up straight after that. Ugh, does not feel good.
They do at least have Lucas up top having a very good time here with the Faceless Void, so see, there might be some pressure onto Denial too. Blood Grenade's going to be used from Slayer. He's able to freshen up a little bit with the stick charges, but it's not going to matter. Lucas jumps over the top. He's able to secure first blood here in our second game. So, this is definitely the one lane that... Malik should be off to an okay time, but I don't think you're really going to stop Lucas from free farming.
Oh. No, I don't think so either. And, I mean, they've done a pretty good job. I want to see another Blood Grenade coming out on the courier pretty soon, as well as a bunch of regen, because you just don't want this Faceless Void to have to be forced out of this lane. And it seems like that's the case from Slayer. salve, regen, blood grade, and some vision as well. So nicely done by him. Even gets the perfect pull-off for this terrible camp on the top side. Although, whenever you're playing up against a Darkseer, just Ion Shell it, and does not matter.
Funny to watch Alchemist be strong in lanes now. I know it's been like this for a while since Agreeable Grease changed. And we're probably going to see that be the case as well with the kill onto the Alchemist. Multiple blood grenades utilized to help secure it. Bignom's going to try and actually go in for the kill onto Shigetsu. And he's going to be rewarded for that as well. That feels really nice. I mean, yeah, you lose your Beastmaster, but still, this is a support who can do a lot with gold and experience and finds a crafty deny as well.
Very nicely done by Bignum. All right, it's little things like that that are going to turn things around. Obviously, never feels great to be able to give up a core, give
top lane
experience over.
Oh my god, so close.
A grenade power, man. This is what it does. This looks like Slayer will be able to still block up this camp, but I'm not sure if it's going to be for a worthwhile cause. He does have a blood grenade and a pretty healthy magic wand to be able to play around with, so actually they will get a kill onto Denial. More stuff being given over to Lucas, so good little start for Moneymakers so far.
Do we feel like this lane is going much better than expected for Melodil? Probably better than it really should as well?
For mid?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. I mean, you are fairly tanky as the Earth Spirit, right? And he's got the infused raindrops now to be able to play around with as well. I believe that might be his second lot of it. And it just enables you to go so much deeper into the lane to be able to make these sorts of plays where you can be a little bit more aggressive with some of your last hitting.
Roll in aggressive.
Sure.
Does have some ports to play around. Melodil's roll is going to be on cooldown for a couple of seconds, so the slow is going to be enough for Yugo to get in range here for the razors. Yeah, it's not going to be the case, so Melodil's able to get out. They also snipe away the power rune as well. Oh, this is...
that for free.
Oh, and he's going to get it.
Or was level 6 picked up as well for the Earth Spirit. So you've got a couple of stuns to be able to play around with Denial. I think we've seen more blood grenades from Moneymakers in this game than we have their entire previous ones so far. They are spamming those out and the potential to go for kills, and that's a big reason why they've still maintained this net worth lead this early on. Lots and lots of value.
See, already though, there's going to have to be a lot of emphasis on some of the rotations out of Melodil and what he's going to be able to do this game. I'm very impressed with, honestly, again, how much he's gotten out of his higher net worth than the Shadow Fiend. So this is something, you know, we were kind of both saying, like, you said in particular, like, Shadow Fiend, you pick this hero to win the lane, and you currently have not done that, and now you're going to have a super active mid laner compared to a farming one on your Gore. He's actually coming down bottom, though, so... It looks like he's reading this move. They're going to have some numbers to take the fight on Moneymakers. Melodil tries to step in. It's a pretty good magnetizer. It's going to be catastrophic with the Fatal Bonds as well. All of this AoE magical damage is going to start to tear them apart on Moneymakers, and Melodil's already looking for the +1. The roll's going to be off the mark. It can set up for some of the extra damage. Lucas has got the corner, but there won't be any damage. It's just up to himself. Yugor's going to try and step back in. He's got the Requiem to play around with. Shigetsu reads this instantly, moves over to the left side, but the Razors are back up now to work with. And now Lucas, he can even time walk over the top. They'll need some bashes and they'll get it. Melody, though, off all the kills that we saw down bottom, he was able to get enough experience for his own ultimate, and it doesn't seem like Lucas is winning the man fight. Well, now with Bignum here, they definitely will with the help of the Beastmaster as well. So, what, Slayer TP's down? Everyone's here after those deaths. Why not? All right.
That's a lot of gold on offer, and they end up getting it. 100 gold going over to the Beastmaster as well, bringing him closer to being just that little bit more survivable for the laning stage. Of course, he needs to make sure that he doesn't pop that salve before the Fatal Bonds wears off on him. You know what? All in all, not working out too badly for MoneyMakers, right? Like, it's a pretty early rotation for sure by Lucas, and it also means that Malik was able to just sit up here on the top side, get a lot of damage into that tier 1 tower. And now they're even going to go hunting a bit more for the Void, knowing that he doesn't have a TP available and he doesn't have Chronosphere either.
He's got some boys, though. They're starting to come on over. It's another really good read from MoneyMakers, but they're just going to be a couple of seconds too late to keep their carry alive, but they will get some return kills. First one onto Melajul. And in fact, that will be the only one. Yep, Slayer's a bit too late.
And they protect their tower. So a little bit more space for them to be able to pick up this farm. Of course, he bought the Midas prior, so, you know, no more massive Midas coming through. It's just going to be able to work towards that next big item for him, even picking up a neutral item that might provide that little bit of extra survivability for himself.
See how much he's going to be able to continue to get out of this. Do you like this build from Melody with the Veil that he's going to be working on?
I mean, you just got so much AoE damage, man. It feels like pretty good value to me. Anything that just gives a lineup that wants to group up relatively early, which Navi's does, a lot of these AoE damage potentials is always going to be a big winner for mine. And they've been taking a lot of these previous fights without the Supernova available, so now you've got that on Big Number as well. So it's a lot more AoE damage going back the other way, and it's the sort of thing that could potentially look to set up for a Shadow Fiend to be able to get this Invis Requiem off. Unfortunately for him, it's going to be underneath vision, but it doesn't seem to matter. Malik just gets stunned up by Slayer.
Oh, nicely done. Great read as well. They will take a fat stack away, so even though you don't get the kill on the Beastmaster, this is very worth it. They need a TP down. I mean, Phoenix could be the turning point here. You've got this egg to work with. You will lose a vast majority of the stack before a fight even occurs. And it doesn't even look like they're going to go in. Bigden will dive, but it's a bit awkward of a location for Navi. Slayer tries to swap closer to get the stun. They are grouping up, which is not going to be good. Supernova's in a pretty decent spot now. It's going to be very difficult for them to commit to deal with the egg, especially when Aurora is out to protect it as well. Your goal will still go down. Is Melajul even going to die as well? Lucas, he can't chrono on the low ground. He won't be able to make it up. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, it is so awkward. Time walks back there. Okay, all right. Wasn't too bad. Looked like it could have been a yikes, but in the end, MoneyMakers, I'll get a couple kills.
Yeah, if he got greedy, if he got more points in the time lock instead of the time walk, then absolutely that would have been an absolute disaster. But with the time dilation, with the Chronosphere, freezing the cooldown of the Chemical Rage, he was like, you know what? I just need an extra couple of seconds to be able to catch out to this squishy Alchemist, and you know, I'll be on my way. You gotta say, I mean, he's doing a pretty fantastic job with keeping up with the Alch in terms of net worth, right? Of course, Alchemist very close to being able to pick up that Sacred Relic component, and a nice little swap there for Slayer to be able to set that one up, but this is the last place that you want to be against all of this AoE team fight, right? The smallest, thinnest area on the map to be able to make plays. Even a nice use of the Primal Roar to be able to stop that last little Melajul roll was not enough to be able to bring safety over to Yegor.
Back live. Oh, never mind. No kills. It's like both sides want to fight, right? In a close proximity area. It's just probably those awkward spots still for it to be nonetheless. I mean, we've had this bridge for a while. And name it whatever you want. There's definitely a couple ways to name that bridge, but you know, at the moment, Navi, they're going to be able to hold it off and continuing. The lead's not too big, though. I mean, the fact that Lucas has as much net worth as he does against an Alchemist, I'm very impressed. 5-1-4. He's been very active this game.
He's been playing very well, even just going back to the laning stage. Obviously, helped out a little bit by having such a strong lane partner in the Venge. And speaking of Venge, he's going to need to be on point with the Nether swap coming through. So they look to make a bit of a rotation up towards this side, maybe stealing away a few more stacks being built up. I think they got a brief glimpse of the Beastmaster, but his Boars is going to scout this one out. A lot of
what the heck? What is this? It's a T2 tower, dude. All right. What is going on?
They're just trying to go for wombo combos and have a bit of...
Oh, it seems like it. Slayer, nice swap back. Melody's been really vital. I mean, he's level 9 on the wall. Like, he's a higher level than the Earth Spirit, but that is all they're going to get off the back of that smoke rotation down to bottom.
I mean, they get a ward as well. That's something else to be able to play around with. No D-ward attempted just yet. So a little bit more of that information to be able to play around with. I mean, the plus side is they only use the Wall of Replica, right? And you got to say, at least for this stage of the game, until the Shadow Fiend gets into this later part, you're not really... not massive value coming out from these Dark Seer illusions, right? You can just go back to farming, pick up that next pipe. There's a lot of magic damage, especially coming through from both sides, but I'm just constantly looking out for who is going to be the one that buys into that pipe of insight first for Moneymakers, because they need it. And right now, looks like Beastmaster's just focusing on a little bit of his own sustain into the Drums of Slum. Of course, it lets him farm a little bit more effectively as well. But of course, it's going to be so important in picking that sort of item up to be able to sustain through a lot of this slow-ish damage over time, right? And you've also got a Phoenix Sunray to be able to kind of resolve that issue as well. Just one level now, but he's getting into the Midas, so should be good.
If it doesn't go pipe, which I also completely agree, I think pipe is a necessity. Like, what are some other options that maybe he's tossing up with at the moment?
Maybe a blink, like blink roar into a swap back into kill on a vital target for the team fight.
Sure.
Whether that be Darkseer or Warlock's not going to be that far forward. But I can see Blink Dagger giving him some value after the initial sustain of just having the Drums of Slum. Obviously, he'll be probably level 12 by the time he... not quite, but level 12, you get 15 stacks of the Drums of Slum onto yourself. Really get that healing and damage over time ticking pretty quickly.
Well, so we saw some crazy fights breaking up very recently, but the game has started to slow down. Got a bit of a... what was the build from 7E again? It was Spirit Vessel into Midas pretty much every game, and then he was going sometimes the Sunjin Kaya. I think we even saw a Heart once, maybe. So a bit of a different read from Melajor's Spirit. BKB.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different build, but I think he just recognizes how many fights are going to be happening, right? And so you may as well get something like a Blade Mail when you're going to be rolling in underneath tier 2 towers, you know, bringing all the attention onto yourself. There's got to be like a cost for putting attention onto him instead of the rest of the team, and that's the sort of thing that's going to set up once again for these Wombo combos as Mel.
Oh, Lucas! Oh, nice Hex. Precasted from Denial, another roll in as well. They're going to be lacking the burst though. Lucas swap back and find the Chronosphere, but still with the backline's getting disrupted thanks to the Golem. So the damage inside the Chrono is going to be heavily lacking, even though the egg was pretty big from Bignum as well. But Navi lose 0 members and they're hunting for more as well. Melajor's roll is going to be on the mark. Another round of the silence, another round of the stun. Melajor, really nice spell casting, and Navi as a whole executed that team fight crisply.
And it's just the difference of having that Radiance as well for a little bit more of that damage over time. Most damage done in that fight, though, was from Melody on his Warlock, and you just see the impact of having all of these AoE spells, right? He's only got the 2 points in the Upheaval, but that plus the Veil, plus the Bonds, plus the Chaotic Offering, it's just so much AoE damage, and they actually have the tools to be able to withstand it, right? They went a first item pipe on Malik so that they could look to stand in the middle of a lot of these fights, whereas, you know, again, I mentioned a slightly more selfish build coming out from BB3, and it just means that he's not able to protect the rest of his team.
Oh, whoa, what's going on back live? And Slay's chilling. We highlighted the rock inside that fight to be able to deal with kind of the backline connecting to the void. Even the wall as well was on the stairs, which made it very, very awkward for them to even follow up onto Lucas's Chrono. So great signs out of Navi. All this game has blown wide. I mean, you take a look at the net worth. One fight, it was like 1,000 net worth lead. Now we're up to 7,000, and it's probably not going to stop anytime soon. You've got this Manta, I believe, getting delivered from Shigetsu. So his farm's going to continue to skyrocket.
Mm-hmm. Just even more of that attack speed, even when you're outside of the Chemical Rage, to be able to deal with the egg somewhat as well. Obviously, like you mentioned, pick up the farm, have the illusions to be able to break out of the likes of the time dilation and everything else going his way. But it's also just great at being able to keep these lanes shoved away as well, right? Obviously, the Radiance on the illusions, not quite as strong, but still plenty effective at bringing attention away from you. No blink yet, Shigetsu, so he won't be able to claim this.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
One more fight though, and we could really start to see maybe some of the greediness from MoneyMakers really come back to hurt them. Like Igor, his network can take a pretty heavy hit. How you're going to be able to divvy up the farm? I mean, even again, the Phoenix, like we've spoken a lot, but this hero can, when you get golden experience, you can do a lot of the late game. So you also need to try and give some of the farm to him as well. But it's not going to be easy with one more fight. If it goes the way of Navi, all of a sudden they could get Roche as well. And the T2 towers would be, there's the claim. They're probably looking for a fight though. They've got a really nice backline ward that...
Yeah, that one placed up previously when they went for that tier 2 dive. It's just about to run out. They'll get a bit of vision though. And you just see Beastmaster on the retreat immediately. But they feel strong enough.
That'll be the blink gold as well.
Wonder if they want to set up for this this Roshan down bottom. It's not a huge amount of value right now, and I think they want to play around their blink dagger timing a little bit stronger. I mean, you mentioned a little bit of the greed coming up from MoneyMakers, but they've got potential to be able to take these next fights, right? While BKB is finished on Yegor, BKB just 900 gold away from the Faceless Void. I would be a little bit disappointed if they didn't go and focus down the Tormentor just to enable both the Venge and the Phoenix a little bit more in these fights. He's be another couple of Midases away from being level 12 on Big Num. So they've got some timings coming pretty shortly. And even just the pipe as well for BB3 to be looking to build into. They're all very useful tools for them to have. It's just a matter of, it feels like the game is in Navi's hands to decide what they want to do in this next little bit. Are they going to focus on Roche? Do they want to farm up their next item? Comes down to what is the right decision. Sometimes there is no yes or no answer to that. It's just how you execute once you pick up that timing, that next timing for yourself.
Yes, without a doubt. I mean, in theory, Carth, all we want on what's going to happen and talk about all the potentials, but end of the game, you got to be able to execute. Yeah, I mean, it's the same when you speak about drafts and potentially who's got an advantage. If it's a draft victory, so it needs to come down to being able to execute. So crazy things can happen. Like we said in the draft, like both sides have this wombo combo potential. If you group up, you make one misstep, all of a sudden it could be a very bad fight for them. Or a potential turnaround, 5-man chrono into the supernova.
They're in the smoke helping him out here. Melody could get gone on.
And he, without a doubt, will get gone on. Shigetsu's here to offer some assistance. All right, a stun with a vac wall. They'll kill Melody before the rock's used. Denara's going to try and snipe Slayer. Your goal will be forced to swap the BKB, even with a swap from the assistance, I should say, from Slayer. So, I mean, you get him out, forced to TP. It was looking like an awkward start, though, with the kind of the concoction with the wall. Navi might have been in a position to capitalize, but they didn't have everyone there to follow.
Yeah, they got a little greedy and a little clowny there, and the big thing is it's going to prevent them from taking away this Torment. Again, I mentioned how big of a deal it is for either Slayer or Big Num to be able to pick this one up. Hopefully Slayer doesn't die as a result of it. That's going to be probably the better target to be able to get it in Big Num. I mean, now having two Sun Rays in a single team fight with, again, all of this AoE damage that they've got, it also gives you enough to be able to finish up the pipe for BB3. So you've reached big timings here, and that was a little bit of a clowny move by Navi to be able to make that sort of thing happen. You've given them the opportunity to potentially take one of these big fights. Oh, Big Num can't get jumped on, though.
And he will, though. Denaro gets to start. Are they going to be able to secure the kill? It looks like with Melik nearby, should be able to continue to chase him down. Meanwhile, though, there's still going to be a turnaround. Lucas is going to find an opportunity. They'll deal with the egg over to the left, and now with the Chronosphere as well. Shigetsu's nice. Okay, that's a great man to dodge. So avoids the magic missile, and importantly, just buys him some space for the rest of Navi to start to swing on over after the kill. The swap's going to be there from Slayer. We see how awkward it is. Shadowfiend wants nothing to do with his fight. His TP was on cooldown. It's back up now, but it's going to be too late. He'll try and TP in. Is this a fight you want to join? Lucas will also jump in, but his BKB's on cooldown. They might just be feeding some unnecessary deaths over. A wall's used from Melik, and oh, Shigetsu. He's good for Igor. Oh, great timing out of the BKB once again as well. Is going to be able to avoid the stun. Rock's a little bit too late, so Requiem will be committed. Shigetsu now with the Chemical Rage on cooldown. The damage, though, it's continuing to be lacking. Shigetsu trying to charge away simultaneously. The rest of the team is gone for the cleanup, and now they can get back over to protect the Alchemist. Importantly, get the kill onto Lucas as well. The silence stops the roll, sets up for Melodor to get him with a chain control and some messy fights, but in the end, they're all favoring Navi.
They are. I mean, they just want these fights to go on for as long as possible, right? You get so much more value out of the wall, which lasts an eternity. 30 seconds for an ultimate that just cuts off the middle of a team fight. Having all of this AoE damage coming out from the Alchemist as well, both from his illusions, the hero himself, the acid spray, everything else that you've got on the deck, whereas it feels a lot more burst-oriented on Moneymakers, right? As soon as that Chronosphere is up and you don't actually secure a kill, where is the control going to come from, right? And it was a supernova that Big Num expended next to 3 heroes, thinking, well, these guys aren't really the greatest egg hitters, but they weren't slowed at the time. They didn't have the fire spirits on them, so they were able to just take him down solo, and he is such a big part of these team fights that you can't afford to let that happen.
I did also just witness a double Midas from Big Num.
I did as well, yeah.
Okay.
Didn't want to mention it. Didn't want to.
sorry, my bad, dude.
Dude,
Lucas, a double Midas too.
Yeah.
What's going on,
man? Just use the second.
All right. Now, currently the only Navi hero up top. He will be fine. No one's even going to run into him for the moment. No one's even considering about Roche. They're going to start to come through the portal. Okay.
I have to be careful. I mean, they've got all of their ultimates available and no rock for this point in time. Melody is at least going to get rid of that vision advantage. Maybe just wanting to wait until this Shadow Blade's available for Igor. But they're going to need to make that correct initiation move, right? It's going to need to be that full-on wraparound to the side. You can't just walk up into the high ground anymore. Melody's actually really far forward. Crimson Guard as well. So Navi again, they want the longer fights. They want to be able to sustain underneath all of these different auras. Just survive through the Chrono, survive through the Supernova and the Egg. If they could pick off the Phoenix, that'd be the dream. This time they've got the smoke to be able to play around with.
They don't do Roche fast at all.
It's a good wrap around. This is the area they need to go into.
Oh, can't clump up. Lucas is ready to go with the Chronosphere, but also Moneymakers, they're grouping up as well. They'll try and kill the Warlock. Melik's going to be in with the combination as well. Set up for a double concoction. Yugor's going to have an opportunity to play around with the Requiem. That'll enable them to retreat. Navi protected with the pipe. They're not going to stop just yet. Lucas is still able to find the Chrono. Where's the extra damage? Yugor's finally going to start to pump in, but just there's nothing left in the tank. They can get the Time Walk away. Denial's going to be able to hunt as well. It doesn't have enough mana for the Earthspike nor the Hex. So it looks like Moneymakers should be able to scurry away. I mean, maybe they'll catch up the Slayer who did just buy back. It's probably going to be a dieback in the end here for the Vengeful Spirit. Shigetsu a little bit far away, but he's not even required from the Alchemist. They'll be able to bring down the Venge. So, yep, there's your dieback. And we just see again the spells from Moneymakers not utilizing in conjunction together. There was, again, another decent Chrono and an okay Requiem, but we're just never seeing them at the same time.
Yeah, the Sunray, unfortunately, by Big Num was facing in the complete wrong direction. So not only did you not get the healing, you didn't get the damage, you didn't get the mischance, and I believe he only started using it after he popped the Egg. So you didn't get any value out of the Aghanim Shard. You got to make sure that your Sunray, then Egg, then get the second Sunray after the fact, considering all your cooldowns are being refreshed. So a little bit of misplays coming out from them there. Even just the fact that they only used the Primal Roar at the very end of the Chronosphere once the lockdown was done meant that you didn't have that Drums of Slomp ticking the entire time, dealing that little bit of extra damage that they would have been needing, and even just healing up BB3 because he died in a good 2 seconds once that Chronosphere was over.
Yeah, maybe a BKB on BB3 will help him be a little bit more survivable inside some of these fights. So he's pretty close to completing the recipe. But this goal, 11,000 net worth lead. I mean, Melodor's about to have a heart as well, so he's going to be even more survivable. Already having some potential damage issues as Big Num's probably going to run into Denial. I think they got a glimpse of him underneath the ward. It's just a question if they want to jump for the Phoenix or wait for a bigger fish to fry. It looks like Shigetsu will go for him.
Fish in these team fights.
No, well, without a doubt, and he's not going to be around for 50 seconds, so that will be a T2 tower to go the way of Navi.
It's also gone quite some time without buying any sort of items on the Phoenix, and it means that every single one of these deaths means so much gold that you're giving up. He could very easily just go ahead and buy the ultimate orb, not necessarily reveal that you are going to be going over towards the Scythe of Ice. It could be a Lincoln Sphere, for all they know. But right now he's just holding on to 1,500 unreliable gold, and the pathway towards the Scythe of Ice is just so much longer.
What are we looking for? Swap back in a roll. I'm going to start like that and deal with the Aegis. Now they can set up the Requiem if Igor wants to. It's a BKBU's defense loop. They're going to have the Chronosphere along with the Supernovas. The damage going to be enough. It looks like it will. Everything is committed for the kill onto the Alchemist. But now they've got nothing left. Is this a fight that Navi can consider? They're going to try and roll for Melagil. It's a great one at that. Look at all the AoE damage. Melagil will go deeper inside the base. Can try and get BB3. We'll be able to sidestep out. But of course, without the Alchemist, they won't be able to capitalize and get some towers. Nonetheless, so we do still see, though, how much damage these heroes can really pump out when the BKBs are on cooldown.
Yeah, they're absolutely capable of it, right? But it's just, it again costs them a lot. They lose their Faceless Void. You get a buyback out of Big Num. So one more kill on the Phoenix, and really you feel so much more confident with taking these extended team fights as well. Hopefully for his sake, he's able to buy up some of those components now, because really, what are you waiting for? And this is not the kill you want to be giving up.
Not again, Mr. Bignum. All right, dominating here for Malik. 5-1-12, dude. I mean, his Darks here, you have to say it's up there with some of the best in the world. We again, so what he was able to do at Riyadh. And he's continuing.
In River, if Shigetsu scouts it out. Might be able to use it just to get to that top lane a little bit faster, which he will. I just got the acid spray in mid lane. Screw it, he thinks his team could do the pushing even without him. There we go. Going to look to join them. 45 seconds without the Phoenix, no glyph available as well. Just waiting for that wave to be able to connect through. What do they even have? No Chrono for 50, no Requiem. Got Raw, but where's the damage coming from after the fact? You got to give up this lane.
We see Shigetsu's not going to mess around as well this time. Previously was that swap back into the instant Raw. So pop the Chemical Rage and give them no opportunity to look to go for it. It's going to be a full set of barracks that Navi can take. I mean, you do have Lucas farming at the opposite side of the map, trying to get his way closer towards the Skyly, but he's still 2 components away.
Not even wanting to pick up the bounty rune next to him. Just wants to try and get a lot of this farm, bring some... Well, they've already got all their tier 3 items. It's actually Navi. They don't even have all of their tier 2 items at this point. They've just been focused on kills, objectives.
Oh, this is a good ward.
Here. Denial has to be a little scared here.
Ooh! Oh no!
They're punishing.
Oh, Melagil is going to be able to run into Igor. I'll turn around with a Requiem. Sun Ray in combination's a lot of damage. Finds an opportunity to roll away. Meanwhile, Malik, what is the combo? They've still got the Supernova to maybe be a deterrent, but it's gonna do nothing. The Vacuna concoction was perfect from Navi. And now they're going to chase down multiple members. To the east and west they go. Yegor's going to try and park himself up on the high ground, but he will not be able to prevent Navi from getting these kills. And meanwhile, they also, on the other side, was able to run into Bignum. So, yeah, we see 4 for nothing. And like you said, that was the wombo combo we were hoping for inside the draft.
Props need to be given over to Malik, right? Like, he is the one setting them up for so many of these, and yeah, Melody as well. He is doing a lion's share of the damage right now. 12, 4, and 15 on this war.
What the hell?
The casual 27 out of the 29 kills. I think I know who my MVP is going to be for this game. Oh, he's even got the golem as well. I wonder... Hold on.
Wait, Igor, he just revealed himself. Oh no, the BKB, they're going to run straight at him.
Yay.
Yeah, it's done. It's done.
Is over. Maybe they're hoping that they don't GG out, so you get one more wombo combo potential. I mean, this is your last moment in the TI qualifiers. Look to make the absolute most of it. I just want to see if Melody knows. I mean, he's 12k MMR. Of course he does, about that chaotic offering little trick that you can do to get double value.
BB3. Force user denial. Quick on the fingers as soon as the Void jumped into the middle. No messing around. GG, good luck next. And a great showing out of the boys on Navi. That series versus VP was just a blip on the radar. They're going to be able to dominate MoneyMakers. And it means they will have a series later tonight versus HYDRA.